I'm Dr. Ryan DeBell from The Movement Fix. This is Movement Fix Monday. We just finished, I'm here again with Dr. Mario Nova. We just finished pumping my arms full of blood, cutting off the circulation or the return.
Right.
And now we're going to talk a little bit about what the heck do you do after, right? So now that I've done that and my arms feel like
they're going to explode.
Oh, yeah, they feel this sensation that I don't know how to explain.
Yeah.
What do I do? What should my strategy be after BFR?
Yeah, so the last thing you're going to want to do after you finish BFR is probably pose. You're not going to want to be flexing too hard. As much as you're going to feel that you're like, you know, you can actually feel, and notice now.
We did just take a picture before the video.
Yeah.
Don't zoom in on my back. We did just take a picture of the pumped up bicep. But what do I do afterwards to make sure that I maximize this ability?
Right, so like anything, we're going to want to work an opposing muscle because that's actually going to help the working muscle to go slightly underneath some relaxation, but the stretch is also going to be important because mind you, at this point, you have a lot of cellular swelling. That happens normally when you lift weights, okay?
It's not just blood that's around there, it's cellular swelling.
Right, so you're
talk a little bit more about cellular swelling.
Right, so we don't only have blood, we also have a lot of the metabolites, basically, lactic acid that have built up in the area. You're having literally fluid and water, right, that's just moving around. Think about how the sodium and potassium, right, where we're talking about electrolytes of staying hydrated. Right now, you're having a super compensation of fluid into the muscle, right? That's why you feel that like skin splitting sensation with it. So
that is really what it felt like. You had to lower the pump. It felt like it was about to burst open. So at this point, what you want to do is, while you have some cellular swelling, you can still increase some other types of anabolic building by doing some light stretching, but you don't want to actively just put it on a stretch, or let's say passively. You want to actively use it by firing the opposing muscle. We're going to do some tricep pull downs. Super easy way to do this, right? I mean, what gym doesn't have a pull-up bar and some bands? So I just crank these out, right?
That's it, just crank them out. Probably anywhere from about 30 or so forth. Basically what you're trying to do is reduce some of the...
So it's a very high rep. Low resistance, very high rep.
Correct, right.
Because I'm essentially trying to pump, like get the return pumping mechanism to some degree, right? As well as get sort of the relaxation of... That's
primarily the biggest one. You're going to want to feel as good as soon as possible because blood flow restriction is hard, man. That was tough. That was 10 pounds, but that 10 pounds probably felt like, what would you estimate that like?
A blank load more than 10 pounds.
So at this point, we're basically just trying to work the opposing muscle. This will just make him, your client, your athlete, whatever, just feel a lot better
afterwards. It really
afterwards.
feels a lot better very quickly after doing this.
And what you're going to notice also, this is interesting now, because blood flow restriction activates, right, those fast twitch muscle fibers. Now that you're done with that, go ahead and try to just contract your bicep gently. You're going to feel like you've got a lot more control over actually turning.
That's very weird.
Isn't it, right? Yeah.
A lot of inexplicable feelings.
Yeah, so you can literally feel the tension building in it even now.
That's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's something that like a bodybuilder, let's say for example, who's in some real high rep work, they would want to do that afterwards. But with BFR, you know, we want to get as comfortable as we can after.
Now, didn't you mention earlier yesterday, I think, that there's some benefit even to bone density from doing BFR?
Right, yeah. So there's some preliminary studies that are coming out now that are actually looking at how bone is showing some signs of growth when using blood flow restriction. Now, you would think typically that bone's going to require a lot of compression force, or basically walking, but mind you, walking is a lot of compression force. And when we're thinking about heavy weight, we're always talking about that's weight that goes through the tendon, that goes into the bone. But the weight's not that heavy in this situation. So there's probably some mechanisms that may be actually occurring with different types of growth hormones. It could also be the fact that some of that metabolic buildup is changing the pH in the area. And that may also be a stress stimulus to the bone. But the fact is, you're still moving through, the muscle's still pulling on it. So that's by far what we know now about actually improving bone.
Should I just do one set of this, or 2 sets? Is there an optimal? Just keep going until you feel better?
It's basically until you feel better. So now mind you, blood flow restriction could be done on an off day, right? It could be done at the end of an actual working session. It really is going to boil down to the type of program that you want to do for your athlete. And you really want to make sure that you're just overall, you know, compensating, you're super compensating, you're helping, right, your recovery by just covering all angles, right? So rest, nutrition, you got it. All that stuff works in there.
Awesome. So last week what we did was we actually showed the actual doing it.
Correct.
And so if you didn't watch part 1, make sure to check down in the link below to get to part 1, because this won't really make a lot of sense unless you watch part 1. And also we discussed your ebook that's available on your site. Again, the link will be in the blog post, so make sure to check that out because it's all about this stuff, how to do it, how to recover, the science behind it, and all that good stuff. So make sure to check that out.
If you don't already follow The Movement Fix on Instagram, make sure to go there at The Movement Fix. You are at Lifters Clinic. And if you don't follow me on Facebook, go to facebook.com/The Movement Fix. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week.